Hey home bakers, it's Jack here, bakewithjack.co.uk, and this week we're doing something a little bit different. We're going a little bit off piste. If you are struggling to handle your bread dough, I'm going to show you a few of my secret techniques that might just help you out. Roll that theme tune. Hello to you and welcome back to the Bake with Jack YouTube channel, where we don't normally do things like this. Normally I set up the tripod, but it's here today because I'm going to show you some dough. Idea is the following. I'm going to get some dough that I've proved up already, divide it up, shape some balls, and through that process I'm just going to highlight a few things that I do that might help you when you come to handle dough. So don't get sticky everywhere, so you maintain control of the dough instead of the dough controlling you. Seamless. Cut to the table. Okay, welcome back to the table for the first time in a long time. Well, I've just remembered that the front-facing camera on my phone doesn't work. So if stuff is not completely in shot, apologies, I can't actually see it. First thing to note is get yourself a flour pot like this, or something to have flour close by. I use this all the time. It's handy to have some flour straight out of the gate instead of getting sticky fingers, rummaging around in the cupboard for flour, getting mess everywhere. We've all been there. Get yourself a flour pot like this. I just keep it like that with my scraper in it, which brings us nicely onto the Bake with Jack dough scraper. I use this for getting dough out of the bowl, unsticking stuff from the table. Literally everything you'll see through the course of this video, just how helpful that scraper is. Here we got some dough that I've been proving up for an hour. It's a straight white dough, and I'll leave the spec for this dough in the description box for you, but it is a straight white dough like any other. It's been puffing up for an hour, it's nice and puffy, and it's enough to make 2 loaves of bread, so it's a kilo of flour. So the first thing we're going to do is get it out of the bowl, but the first thing to note before that is the top of this dough is dusty. Can you see that? I dusted it, as always, after I knead it. When I put it in the bowl, I dust it to make this dusty. Now, if you might be covering this while it proves with an upturned bowl like this, or cling filming it. When you do that, sometimes it gets sticky on the top because it's all contained inside. It huffs and puffs, and then it gets sticky on the top again, and you'll need a little bit of dust on the top. But I always use a cloth, so we have this surface on the top. We don't have a sticky surface. It's been breathing the whole time, but we kind of got this dry top on the top, which is a really useful thing to know. Because this dry top, whether you made it with flour just now, or whether it's dry already, will stay dry the whole time, right? Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to use my scraper to get all the dough out. I'm going to ease it out down the sides. And get it out onto the table upside down, okay? Remember that top side, what is now underneath, is non-stick. It's not sticky. We have a non-stick side and a sticky side up like this, okay? That way it won't stick to the table. If it does stick to the table, you can employ the tactical dust technique, which is sprinkle a little bit around the edge, use the flat edge of your scraper, and just shimmy it underneath like that. We need to keep this side sticky and the other side non-sticky. We don't want it to stick to the table, but we want to stick to itself as we are shaping things up along the way. You'll notice this later on when we do shaping as well. I'll show you exactly what I mean. But here, this bit is sticky, and it is sticky. If I put my hands on here like this, it's going to stick. If I'm slow with it, it's going to stick. And this is one thing to note as well, right? Look, now it's on my fingers because I'm slow with it. But, let me get that bit off so I can show you. If I'm quick with it, if I'm light-fingered and nimble, like this, whip my fingers away, it'll be absolutely fine and nothing will stick to my hands. So I'm going to divide this up. I'm going to cut down the middle as if I was making a loaf of bread, for example, and some rolls. I'm going to just divide it up into pieces now, right? So I'm going to use the flat edge of my scraper, cut down the middle. My fingers are sticking to the top, and that's okay because it's non-sticky underneath. See how I can just move it around easily? If I need to use the scraper, I can. And it just moves around on the table like that, okay? So let's put that bit to one side for a minute. This is going to be a big piece, right? I'm just going to shape everything into balls today just to give you an idea. Remember I said it's sticky here. Now I can push it down, degas it slightly. And as I make it into this ball, I'm sticking all the sticky sides to the sticky sides, right? Everything comes in and the stickiness goes on the inside. So eventually, if I keep working my way around, folding it up like this, we're going to get a ball that's not sticky on this side. The more you do this, the more your dough will take on that excess flour, okay? And the more sticky it becomes here. If you keep going, it will at some point end up sticking to the table underneath. Here, see, it's getting sticky already. You can't see that, but I can feel it. It's getting sticky to the table. So just be aware of that as you're working your way around. And if you need to, that's quite sticky now. If you need to, just get a little bit of flour like this. Shimmy it underneath once again. Move it around, pick up a little bit, and continue on. We don't want too much flour here. Just a little bit, okay? Now, we've got a bouncy ball, not stick on the top, and give it a little dust like this. It's really important here not to use too much flour. I see people doing stuff like this everywhere, just getting flour all over the place. And then when it comes to shaping something up, let's just take a little piece of this, for example. If you've got flour everywhere, right, if you're dusting everything like crazy, and you try and fold this up into a ball, it's not going to happen, look. It's just going to open back up again because there's nothing for it to stick to. And if you are like that, and you have got it too dusty, make yourself a clean space like this. Apologies, the scratchy noise. Dust this off as much as possible. Oops. Be a little bit firmer with it and you should be able to get that stickiness back with a few folds, just like happened with the big one. Now we've got a little ball. Right? We only dust one side, and that's the same through the whole process, whether it's the small ones or the big ones. We keep one sticky side and one non-stick side, and that will really help us out. When you dust in your table, like I did a minute ago, the idea is to use the minimum flour possible. I hardly used anything on that big one I did. Use the minimum flour possible by just taking a little piece like this, just pinching like that much, and flick it kind of sideways, like that. This is called a flour flick, yeah? Flick it sideways, just to get a fine dusting on the table. No clumps, just the minimum amount possible, just to take the stickiness away from the dough, but not enough so there's flour everywhere, okay? There's a fine line between the stickiness and slidiness, but we don't want either. We want just the middle. We need a little bit of grip on the table without flour all over the place. Right, so now all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this big piece and divide it up into little pieces. And I roll them up into balls. And along the way, hopefully you should get an idea of, if it's not clear, about what I'm talking about. Always use the flat side of your scraper to cut stuff up. I'm just going to randomly do this. I'm not going to weigh stuff out or anything. I'm just going to randomly do it. Which is not in my nature, but I will be fine. Nobody panic. Alright. Always sticky side up. It's not sticking to the table. If it does, we employ a tactical dust. If you've got a little bit of flour here, that's helpful sometimes, because if it gets sticky here, you can just kind of have a little dip there, pat it off and bring it back to your table, and nothing sticks, which is good. Remember, it is still sticky here, look. But if you're nimble with it, if you're quick with it, you should be okay. Okay, oh, see, that one's getting a bit sticky. Have a little dip down in there. And then I can fold them up into a ball. Remember, not too much flour all over the place. We need grip for stuff like this. And you'd have seen this before when I'm shaping rolls or when I'm shaping a loaf. Minimum flour. It's not sticky here, right? If it is sticky, don't just continue on. I see that sometimes in classes where I say to people, hey, use the minimum flour possible, just enough so it don't stick to anything. And then I feel like maybe I'm a little bit too, I don't know, maybe I focus on that a bit too much, and kind of sometimes someone will get the idea that we don't need any flour at all, but you need some. And so if it's sticking, don't just continue on, just pause what you're doing. Look, that's getting sticky there now, see? Look at that. Use my scraper, unstick. I can have a little dip if I need, but only still just on that one side so that we can fold it up and make a nice ball. Okay, let's do this one too. Right. One more thing to note here, okay? Sometimes I see people get a little bit heavy-handed with this, yeah? Everything I'm doing, I'm being gentle, and I'm very conscious that it looks like maybe I'm being a little bit firm, but I'm doing everything with a bit of a delicate touch, okay? Try not to overthink this stuff as well, okay? That's tricky. But if you be a bit heavy-handed with stuff, I'm just pinching a little piece and bringing it over here, see? If you're being heavy-handed, you end up pulling this like that, and then you get this. See that there's a little tear here? I don't know if you can see that there, because I can't see what you can see. There's a tear there, and there is the stickiness. You have an outside surface on your dough. Oh, see, it's getting sticky. Have a little dip down. Bring it back. You have like this outside non-sticky surface. It's the same with everything, same with all of them. But if you are heavy-handed, I'll just do it to show you. You're going to break that surface tension, see? And there is the stickiness here. You don't want to do that. You just listen to your dough and just feel what it's like. Listen to your dough. What I mean is, don't push it past its means. Okay, there's a natural point where your dough don't want to be stretched any further. Just try and be aware of that and be responsive to it. And you should be absolutely fine. Alright, so listen, I don't know how helpful this video is. I hope it's helpful for you. I kind of just thought I'd freestyle today. I hope that's okay. I just missed playing with dough. I haven't done it for such a long time, and I haven't kind of chatted to a group of people about it along the way for such a long time. I thought maybe I need that back in my life. So I hope you picked up some things from this. Get yourself a dough scraper. You can get that from bakerjack.co.uk/shop, by the way. Get yourself a flour pot. Employ the tactical dust. That's one dusty side only. One dusty side, one sticky side. Whip your fingers away. Don't let them linger, because they will get sticky. Whip them away nice and quick. A light, delicate touch. Use a minimum amount of flour when you're dusting. Like this. Use the flour flick. Clean up your table in between, that's a good idea. Not too much flour, not dust everywhere like this. I see this quite a lot. Don't do that, because you'll get in proper trouble. You're trying to roll a baguette like that, it's not going to happen. Use the minimum amount of flour. Not too much, but not too little. Just enough. And we do that by taking a little bit, pinch a little bit, flick it sideways. And there you go. There's some tips for you if you're struggling to handle bread dough. I hope that made sense. I hope you got some value out of that rather random, unscripted video. I just had a few notes here to help me out, make sure I covered all the bases. And the reason it was like that today is that I realised yesterday, it just struck me how much I miss classes, spending my days in rooms full of people playing with dough, having a chit chat, up on a stage at food festivals, just having a play and a chat. And I've been doing classes for 7 or 8 years now, and all of a sudden nothing, and I've just been continuing my life like everything's normal, wondering why I'm feeling down in the dumps, and I think that's it. So I planned what I was going to do today. It wasn't that. Last night I just thought, let's get some dough out, have a play. I hope you got some value out of it. I hope it helped you out. I look forward to seeing you next time for another one. Bye-bye. Oh, hey home bakers, here's a secret message for those of you who stayed all the way till the end. A few weeks ago I wrote a blog post and I did it in stealth mode. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just popped it out because it was a very personal thing to do, and I felt weird announcing it to the world. So you may have seen it in your Home Bakers Bulletin last week. I sneaked it into the end. Some people have read it, some people have left a comment, and the response has been unbelievably positive. So I wanted to mention it here in this way. It's called Who Am I Now? And it's a post talking about how I felt in the past, having lost my role as a chef, how I feel at the moment, having lost all my classes, and how with all the things that I do gone, I kind of feel like I've lost a part of myself along the way as well. And I got a sneaking suspicion that I'm probably not the only person feeling like that at the moment. So if you think you're in the same boat, the post is called Who Am I Now? Go and find it on the blog. I'll leave a link down in the description somewhere. If you feel like that resonates with you, that is literally the only reason why I wrote it in the first place. I felt like it needed to be said, and there it is. And if it resonates with you and you feel like it might help someone else, share it out, and maybe it'll help them too. See you next week. Bye-bye. And there it is, your bread tip this week. I hope you don't mind the impromptu style that I went for. We're all adapting to changes everywhere, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, and this is just my way. Listen, I hope you got some value out of this, and I look forward to seeing you next time for another one. Bye bye.